Hello everyone, my name is Mikel Angelo and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to go over the freeze out warmer glove inserts. So basically what these are is that they're just glove inserts that you put on that block the wind from hitting your hands while you're riding in the cold. So here in El Paso, Texas, during the winter, it gets down as to low as 35 degrees Fahrenheit. And these are immensely helpful because even though the ambient temperature between the motorcycle and my windshield is not very cold because I can just wear a hoodie and then put on my jacket and make it all wonderful. I do not have handguard to protect my hands from the wind, so they do get very careful. Even with the hard knocks gloves, which makes these very uncomfortable, and I can barely squeeze my hand unless I put them over the hard knocks gloves, which is also very difficult. So what I normally end up doing when it gets down to those colder temperatures is actually putting this glove over this one. So basically what it does is that, at least for me, it might be better for you depending on your area, it just blocks the wind out for me. So basically I just do that and then I just kind of stretch this glove over. I tried putting it on underneath, and again I just ran into the issue that it was way too tight, and it was just way too tight, and I just couldn't bend my fingers, and it was really difficult to actuate the clutch and the brake, which obviously is really dangerous. So now I just throw it over the glove, and now as you can see I have a full range of motion again, and it's super easy to close. Now does it stretch this out? Probably, but it still does its job where it blocks the wind, at least the majority of the wind from getting into my hand. Now keep in mind, even though it blocks the wind, if the wind is still cold, it will make the glove cold. This glove will make the underglove cold, and then your hands will be cold, but your hands will take a significantly longer time to get to that point where it's really hard to actuate your fingers because the blood is either so thin or your hands are so cold that you're getting close to that very like low level of frostbite. So for $20, I think this is a great investment, especially if you don't want to spend $100 on the heated gloves that require you to hook up to your battery, or if you don't want to buy, for example, for me, a third set of gloves just for the winter, because realistically in El Paso it only gets to 35 degrees maybe 4 times out of the entire winter season. So it would be a complete waste for me to buy a winter glove and or to buy the heated gloves because I don't really need them here. It's only for those few times where I have to get up at 7 a.m. or 6 a.m. in like December or January, and I have to travel somewhere for more than 20 minutes. Because that's another thing too, is that I never considered buying these gloves until I started going to school, and it's about 30 minutes from my school, and by the time I got to school, I physically could not feel my hands, and then like it was very difficult to actuate my fingers, which is a problem because motorcycles are very hand dependent on shifting, and well, I mean, I guess downshifting, not so much upshifting, and obviously the front brake, which is 70% of your braking power. Now, this pretty much resolved all of those issues. So for $20 plus shipping, I do highly recommend them. They do work. Just keep in mind that if you wear a bigger glove like this one, you might have to put them on first and put them under. But again, for me at least, because this leather isn't stretched for fingers that are bigger than mine, it was very difficult to actually actuate. My hands were definitely warm, but it was difficult to actuate. And then with something like this, it is way too big and bulky to put this over. Now, obviously, you can compensate for that by buying a bigger size glove to put over it, and that's probably what I should have done. And that maybe if these ever go out, that's what I'll do in the future. But yeah, so if you're just looking for insulated gloves or an insulated liner for those couple days of the year that it's just too cold to ride with your bare gloves, even if you're using track gloves like this that don't have any perforation, then this is what I would recommend. If you have any questions, please leave them below and I will get back to them as soon as possible. If not, I will see y'all in the next one.